Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and every now and then we go from the old to the new to the very old and whatever. And I've been cleaning out my basement. We had a little bit of a flood with the local hurricane that came through. Not terrible, just a little bit of water, but it forced me to kind of take care of some things about rearranging and the like. And I remember this box. It's been in here for some time now. It's a garage sale find from a while ago. I'm not sure if I even previewed it or not, but I did have the opportunity to open it up and say, oh gee, I remember that. And then I started looking at it and found some curiosities behind it, and I actually have a reel in here that we're going to work on. So the first thing that was curious was these little wooden cylinders. I really didn't know much about it. I just kind of dismissed them. I thought maybe somebody was tying a line around with it, using them as corks or whatever. And there were several of them in here. And, no name, no description, no nothing until the last one, which says Pfluger, Carlisle, number 12, Bulldog. And sure enough, you open up this cylinder, and it's got hooks in there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's some hooks in there. And I thought, wow, isn't that kind of interesting? It's a curiosity. I hadn't seen something like that before, but now I'm the proud owner of a couple of hook containers. And the other ones haven't. They've just lost their label. So don't ever recall seeing them in my years. So those are probably pretty old, particularly with the wooden packaging. And we'll just keep them kind of around as local treasures. And now I know what those are. And then I have a box here that is also quite old. It's made in Norway, of all things. It's the Mustad & Son hooks. And I got a bunch of hooks in here as well. And then one more piece here. I got an envelope of hooks, but this one says Best Razor Steel, Pickerel and Pike and Bass, and it doesn't tell me, other than made in Japan, it doesn't tell me whose they are from a brand standpoint, so not quite sure there, but we've got a bunch of hooks here that I didn't think we had or I didn't recall. Always interesting what you find in somebody's old tackle box. And this is the one, probably put it aside because I said, oh, it's missing its handle, and I saw a stripped stud there, and then I went underneath it and I found the manual for this thing. This is a JC Higgins. It's the 3100 spinning reel. Found a very tattered manual to it that doesn't show this particular one. It shows a little bit different one, but that's okay. And the handle is stuck in the back under that paper, and the problem with the reel, if there is a problem, is that there's a screw that belongs in here that has had the head sheared off of it. And I guess the first time I probably looked at this reel, I thought, well, there's nothing to hold the handle on. Well, that's not quite true. The handle, as it turns out, is threaded, and as long as you're going in the crank direction, you're fine. And the reel actually turns, and the reel does have a functioning bail. So quite the garage sale find with the little oddities there with the hooks and all. So let's go ahead and show you how this reel is made. We're going to take it apart. Why not? We'll show you what's going on in the reel, and we'll see what we can learn from this one. Let's start by taking the exterior pieces off, and as I do, I want to thank our first responders and essential personnel and everybody involved in keeping us safe during the pandemic. Your efforts truly are appreciated. Everybody in the health and medicine fields, the uniformed services, police, fire, and the like, delivery services, and everybody else, thank you for what it is that you do. Well, underneath is real simple. It's just a bail click mechanism, and see if we can get it off the stud there. I'm not even sure how it's setting. There we go. It sets, and then there's a little trip ramp underneath that that pushes it over. There is no nothing much to say beyond that. Looks like we have a single stop for the anti-reverse. It seems to be at the same point. Now there's where that weak handle is coming into play. If you like to slam your anti-reverse, I guess. But it looks like it's always resetting to that same spot, almost like the one-stop quick draws reels. So there's something going on under there. And let's just take the handle off. go underneath and explore the rest of this reel. This is a plastic of some, maybe even kind of a nylon type of a thing. It's an odd plastic, but it's your spool. Looks like we have a single point of contact here to take off the side plate. I'm not seeing any screws anywhere else other than one up here, which likely is holding that pinion gear in place. Let's take this one off. Neoprene, is that what I'm thinking of with that thing? Wow, that's interesting. So that's a little odd as well. We have a kind of a winged formation on this one. Let's see if we can go a little bit close with this. A little bit of a winged formation, and it looks as you pull, this is going to spread, and it's going to grab the ridge of this case here and keep tension on it to keep this in place. That's kind of a unique design. We have nylon gears. Nylon gear, main gear, crosswind block, and pinion gear, and all of them are nylon. Interesting. And then if we just pull that screw out to get the main gear out, just to kind of continue our look at this one. That should enable us to pull the axle shaft up. That's just putting pressure on the axle shaft. There is no, oh, there's a little indentation here. You might be able to see that. There's a little ridge that you want to line up for that. We have a little stud here that's riding this. You can come up top. That's probably a 12 millimeter. Of course, back then it wasn't millimeters, but they line up with 1/2 inch. It's loose anyway. Let's see what's underneath. A triangular shaped pinion gear is holding that on. As I mentioned, we have a set screw here, so let's go ahead and take that set screw out. Oops, don't lose these things. We lose those screws there, and well, this one just becomes a piece on a novelty pile. I don't know if anybody would go fishing with this one right now, but it's fun to explore. I call these tuition reels just because they provide loads of fun. You'll learn a little bit about reel design, and you can actually put them back together again sometimes. Get lucky. All right, that's your pin that's holding the gear in place here. This should be able to come up now. This is very much reminiscent of a Mitchell, the larger saltwater reels that have the collars like the 302 in that. So we have a little pinhole. We have a little shim washer, and we have the stud. So we have metal, but we have a plastic molding onto that metal. I'll put that back on. Then our nylon gear comes out. And this one you can brush off. Just grab a paper towel here, just grab that off to clear the channel. And inside it looks to be an aluminum forged case. Just a little bit of grease and the like locked in there. And then underneath we have a big collar. We do have an anti-reverse in here, but this one doesn't seem to be set. So there's something that broke off of that. I can see a spring just kind of laying off to the side here, so that's probably why this thing just wound up in the box at some point. And we can do our best just to kind of put this back together again, just to show you how to do that. We would take a little bit of grease and put that onto the core shaft, a little bit of grease onto the face. So if you like looking at unusual reels, if you like reel repair, if you like to just kind of tinker, then you'll like my channel. I work on all kinds of fishing reels, and some of them modern and some of them, well, just like this, learning experiences. And if you do like that, I would encourage you to subscribe. That's the best way to see what I'm working on. And if you hit notifications, it'll show you every one that I post. So that way you won't miss any in the notifications, and it'll give you an opportunity to see if that's a video that you would like to watch or not. Again, I do round bait casters, I do low profile bait casters, I do new and old reels, I do spinning, trolling, if it's out there, and it winds up in my shop, I wind up doing it. All right, we're going to turn this around. That little stud spot there has got to line up with the set screw piece. So I like to do that with a pin. Maybe hard to see. Maybe we can bring this in a little bit from a focus standpoint. Going to grab that set screw now. Get that started. So this one will just kind of go in my oddities bin. I have a couple of reels that just kind of lay around my shop just because they're odd and I kind of get encouraged by them from time to time. Something like this AirX reel here that's kind of looks like a flying saucer, right? Just kind of the AirX Vic. It's just kind of a weird design in a reel, but sometimes it just kind of give you the encouragement to endure, if you will. All right, we're going to just put the rotor back on. So if you have a question on this reel, or any reel in particular, if you leave that question in the comment section, I do try to answer those. I try to generally address them in the mornings. So if you leave a question, hopefully I'll be able to respond to you and answer that question for you. This just shows you how nice it is. It's going to be a smooth reel because you got plastic, so nothing's, or nylon, whatever these are, it's not going to grind much, right? All right, and then this is going to find itself over that stud. And then what we want to do here is we want to take that, I'm just looking at the desk here. I've left a washer off, so we're going to go back and do that before we go any further. Usually, most of the time, I will leave these in a parts tray. I've put most of them in my parts tray. For some reason, that one just blended right in with my, well, my decades-old little bench protector here. This little draw side that's gotten its share of use. That big old washer is going to go sit right in there. And now we can go forward. It just blended right in with the coloration of that, and not much you can do there. Yeah, something got sheared off here. That's obviously how that anti-reverse dog got loose. That's all right. Again, I didn't pay much for the box. As a matter of fact, I think I probably purchased some other reels and tackle, and the box probably came along with it, which is probably why it was sitting in an obscure part of my basement that was prone for some rainwater to come in over that last storm there. All right, now we'll come back here. We just kind of cleaned off that shaft. Again, this isn't going fishing or anything, but we'll just put light lubrication on it. We're looking for this flat spot to line with the window. That hole in the crosswind block, because that's where the set screw is going to go. So we'll bring that down. I can see where that indentation was right here with the old set screw, so we're going to go ahead and put that in there with any luck. Nice materials. So JC Higgins was a store brand for Sears, and it's my understanding that JC Higgins was basically the sporting goods buyer for Sears, and I guess they just named it after him. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to the story than that. If I'm wrong, please somebody let me know. And we'll just take that real side plate, and then this one was pressure, and as you saw that wing, it's just going to push those two tabs of the wing out, and that's going to secure it there. And we can put our handle back on, and we'll learn something from this reel. Nylon gears, turns nice and smooth. We have a spool here that's molded. I can see a spring inside the spool. There's no real drag system there. I guess when you push down on that wing nut, that it's going to compress that spring, and it's going to push against the axle shaft, and that's what's going to cause a drag to occur. Learning moment there. But there's no replaceable drag washers in this one. And Let's see. Yep, tightens it down. You have a tight piece. So other than a missing stud, not missing, a broken stud, where the screw head is out, this reel actually survived. So there you go. This is the JC Higgins model 3100. I'm guessing somewhere in the 1950s. I was looking on the little manual that came along, but there wasn't a copyright date or anything on there that would give me much more information than that. But it clearly is a nice kind of early spinning reel. It used that nylon for the pinion gear, the main gear, and the spool. And fun little thing. I think we're just probably going to put that right back in here. I'll find another corner of my shop to go put that in a year or 2 or 3 from now. We'll go figure out, oh, that's what's going on in that box there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like it. If you want to see more, again, please subscribe. If you know a first responder, please thank them. If you have a reel that needs to be repaired and you're not up for doing it yourself, well, contact me. I do repair reels by mail, and I'll be happy to provide you with that reel repair information. Please use the email on the business card, as that's the best way to reach me for that information. And then finally, please stay safe, stay well, and have a great day. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Take care.